Hi students, in this chapter we are going to see 10th standard science unit 8 periodic classification of elements and the subtopic is alloy. Let us move. What do you mean by alloy? Alloy is a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals with a certain non-metallic elements. So alloy is not a single element. It is a combination of element. Probably it is a metal with a combination of a certain non-metallic elements. So in this chapter we are going to see briefly about the alloys. In the alloys, why we are adding more than two elements that may be a non-metals or metals. The superior quality of metals and non-metals are selected and they were combined, and the combined combination of these elements are called as alloys and they are used for various purposes. So properties of alloys are often different from those of its components. So the individual element, that is individual metal, is having a different characters, different properties. When it is combined with another metal or another non-metallic element, its characters, its property is totally changed. For example, pure gold, it's a very brittle in nature. It can break easily and we cannot use this pure gold to make an ornaments. So for the ornamental making purpose, what the jewelry shoppers do, they have added certain metals, probably it will be a copper, and they add the copper to the pure metal. Thus the gold will get the ductility and malleability property more. The malleability and ductility property of a gold will be more when we are adding a copper. In the gold shop and gold advertisement, we had seen 916 kdm. What do you mean by that 916? It is nothing but 91.6% of gold and 8.4% of other metals. Probably it will be a copper. So in every ornamental gold, it contains only 91.6% of gold and 8.4% of copper. We are not using a pure gold here. The reason for it, the pure gold is not fit for making ornaments. That's why we are adding a copper to it. Then we can say now the ornamental gold is an alloy because it is a combination of two metals, copper and gold. Gold is 91.6% and copper is 8.4%. So this is a alloy. Okay, what do you mean by amalgam? Amalgam is an alloy of a mercury with another metal. We are probably calling amalgam, it mainly consists of a mercury. It is a major product with a combination of other metals. These alloys are formed through the metallic bonding with electrostatic force of attraction between the electrons and the positively charged metal ions. Here the metallic bonding is between the electrons and the positively charged metal ions. In amalgam, the metallic bonding is probably between the electrons of metals and the positive charged ions. Thus, the bond is formed in the amalgam. So, for example, where we had seen the amalgam, we probably we went to a dentist for a tooth decay, and they use a silvery liquid to fill the cavities, damaged cavities. What is it? It is nothing but an amalgam. It's a silver tin amalgam. It contains of silver and tin mixed with the mercury. It's a liquid metal. We all know that. And this combination of three metals makes the amalgam, silver tin amalgam, and it is used in dental filling. We could see this in dentist. Okay. What is the reason for alloying? Why we should alloy? Why should make alloy? There are 5 major reasons for making the alloys. First one is to modify appearance and colors. Appearance. Some metals are not appearing, the appearance is not good and the color is also not we want. So if we mix 2 or more metals or non-metals with it, the color will change and its appearance will also get changed. That's the first reason for the alloying. Second one is to modify the chemical activity. The chemical activity of particular metal is low. If we are adding another metal to it, the chemical activity will increase. So in order to increase the chemical activity of particular element, the superior quality of metal 1 we need and the chemical activity of metal 2 will combine together. Then we get the superior quality of metal 1 along with the chemical activity. That is the reason for making a alloy. Second reason is this. Then third reason is to lower the melting point. Probably metals are having a very high melting point, the order of 700 to 2000, 3000, 4000 degrees Celsius also. So if you want to lower the melting point, we have to add a particular metal to the concerned metal. Suppose metal A is having 1400 degrees Celsius. I want to reduce the melting point to 500 to 600 degrees Celsius. I should add another metal having a lower melting point to it. So the combination of two metals will lower the melting point of a combined alloy, combined substance, that is a alloy. So the melting point of a metal can be lowered by adding another metal by making an alloy. That's the third reason. The fourth reason is to increase the hardness and tensile strength. Just before we had seen, the ornamental gold consists of copper and gold. What is the reason for adding copper to the gold is having a lower malleability and ductility. It's not hard, it's a very brittle substances. Hardness is very low, as well as tensile strength is also very low. So by adding the copper, the hardness will get increasing. So that is the reason for making alloys. The fourth point reveals the examples. That is, I already told you that pure gold is not fit for making a jewelry, whereas by adding a copper to it, we can make an ornamental gold. So increasing the hardness is another reason for making a alloy, as well as tensile strength. What do you mean by tensile strength? Tensile strength is a strength of a metal. It doesn't get break down. Even we are giving a more tension, more pressure. The probability of a metal for breaking on giving a more tension, more strength, more tensile strength. The metal will not get breaking. Even we give a more pressure, more tension, then it's having a higher tensile strength. So fifth one is to increase the resistance to electricity. Some metals are having a lower resistance in electricity. If you are adding two or more elements to it, metals or non-metals, the resistance to electricity will get increasing. So that is a fifth point of reason for alloying. So let us move on to a method of making alloys. There are two main methods for making an alloys. By fusing the metals together, two metals are separated. First, we can take two metals, and two metals are having a two different melting point. By fusing, what do you mean by fusing means we have to melt both the metals and then fuse, that is mixing it together. For example, here brass is given. Brass is a combination of zinc and copper. Both these two metals, zinc and copper, is having a different melting point. Zinc is having the melting point of 419.5 degrees Celsius, and copper is having a melting point of 1085 degrees Celsius, which is entirely different from a zinc. So we have to melt both these metals in a different melting point, different temperature, and by adding these liquid metals after melted, these two liquid metals are being fusing. Then this combination of these two liquid metals is called as a brass, which is an alloy. So this is the first method, fusing metals together. Next one is by compressing finely divided metals. We have to divide the metals, finely divided metals, and by compressing it, pressure is given so that the finely divided metals will get coagulating with each other. Wood metal is an example for it. Wood metal is nothing but an alloy, which is a combination of four metals: lead, tin, bismuth, and cadmium. they are on a powder state. They had been divided, finely divided metals only. All these finely divided 4 metals will get compressed. They are joined by compression. So this is called as a wood metal. Here the wood metal is prepared through the compression of a finely divided metal. So 4 metals are finely divided. That is, we are making them as a powder. After that, we are compressing all the 4 powdered metals into one. That is called as a alloy named wood metal. So next one is an alloy is a solid solution. In the solution lesson, which we had seen in the 9th standard itself, we had classified a solution into 9 types based upon their physical state. Here, solution is a thing which it contains a solvent and a solute. We already know that solvent is nothing but which is present in a major quantity, and solute is a substance which is present in a minor quantity. Here, if you are taking a brass, which is a combination of copper and a zinc, which is having a major percentage, is copper. So copper is present in a major percentage in a brass alloy. So copper is a solvent here, which is having a higher percentage, and zinc, which is present in a lower concentration, lowest percentage, then it is a solute. Okay, the solvent is the one which is having a higher concentration in the solution, and solute is the substances which is having a lower concentration in the solution. In a brass alloy, it is a combination of 2 metals, that is a copper and zinc, in which copper is having the higher concentration. It is present in a larger volume. So copper is a solvent here, and zinc is present very minor quantity, then it is a solute. So it will be asked in 1 marks. Okay, and next we are going to see a type of alloys. Alloys are broadly classified as 2. The first one is a ferrous alloy, and second one is a non-ferrous alloy. They have been classified mainly by taking an iron as a thing. Alloys which is having iron as a one section, and the non-iron alloys as a second one. So alloy containing iron is called as a ferrous alloy. Ferrous is a Latin name for iron, ferrous, Fe. So the alloys containing mainly iron are classified as ferrous alloys, and non-ferrous alloys are the alloys which does not contain iron. All the other metals excluding iron, they are called as a non-ferrous alloy. In your lesson, they had given 2 non-ferrous alloys and 1 iron alloy tabular column. First we have to see copper alloy, which is a non-ferrous alloy. In this copper alloy, copper is a major component present in it. First copper alloy we are going to see is a brass. I already told you just now. There is a brass. It's a combination of 2 metal, copper and a zinc, in which is the copper is a major component that is present in a higher quantity, and zinc is in a minor quantity. So brass is an alloy which consists of 2 metals, copper and zinc. Where this brass is using? We are using, first one is electrical fittings. In electrical purposes, this brass is broadly used. In the switches, bulbs, and in electric connections, the brass is mainly used. And making a medals, brass medals in a sports and other awards, they are using a brass medals. Decorative items. Decorative items are the thing that we are used for a decoration purpose and kept in a showcase like area in our homes and in palaces. They are decorative items like pots, like these things. They are made up of brass only. And hardwares also, they are made up of brass. Okay, this brass is used in this above said things. Next one is bronze. Bronze is a alloy that consists of 2 metals, in which a copper is a main component because it is a copper alloy, along with a tin. The symbol of tin is Sn. The Latin name is stannum. That's why they are using a Sn here. We should ask tin. The Latin name is stannum. That's why we are using a Sn symbol here for tin. Okay, where the bronze is used, it is used for making statues. We had seen several statues in different areas with a metal. That metal is nothing but not a metal. It is an alloy, and it's nothing but a bronze. So statues are made up of a bronze. Okay, then coins. Bronze coin is also there. For making coins also bronze is used. And bell gongs. Bronze made up bells have a quality of making a louder noise, a louder sound. That's why probably the bells are made up of a bronze. In so many places like schools and many places, the bronze bells are used. Next alloy that we are going to see is aluminium alloy. It is also a non-ferrous alloy. The two main alloys of aluminium are duralumin and magnesium. First one is a duralumin. Duralumin consists of a combination of 4 metals. That is aluminium, magnesium, manganese and copper. Al, Mg, Mn and Cu. Where this duralumin is using now? We are using a duralumin in aircrafts. We already know that aircrafts making parts, the metal that we are using for making an aircraft should be lighter in weight. We all know that aluminium is a lighter weight metal. So that's why the combination of these 4 metals make a duralumin, which is an alloy of aluminium, is making for aircraft made purposes. Okay. Then tools. So many tools are made up of this duralumin, and mainly pressure cooker, aluminium pressure cooker, that is a duralumin made pressure cooker that we are using in our home, is also made up of a duralumin, which is an alloy of aluminium. The next alloy of aluminium is magnesium. The name itself consists of magnesium, a combination of aluminium. Magnesium. So this is also consists of 2 metals, that is aluminium and magnesium. It is also used in the manufacturing part of aircrafts. Next, the scientific instruments that we are using in our labs are mainly made up of this aluminium alloy, that is a magnesium. Scientific instruments also made up of this magnesium. So these are all the 2 non-ferrous alloys that we have seen. Next we move on to iron alloys, that is a ferrous alloys. Here also there are 2 alloys for iron. The first one is a stainless steel. In our day-to-day life, we are using most of the substances that is made up of stainless steels. And this consists of 3 metal. The stainless steel alloy consists of 3 metal and 1 non-metal. 3 metals are ferrous, that is iron, nickel and chromium. These 3 are metals, and along with that carbon is also there. It is a non-metal, carbon. So these 4 elements are present in the stainless steel alloy. Where we are using this stainless steel? First one is in utensils. Utensils means the household utensils. In our home, in kitchen, our mom using up so many of our materials in kitchens, like vessels, stainless steel vessels, stainless steel tawa, stainless steel things. So many things we are using in our kitchen are made up of stainless steels only. That is a household utensils. Next one is a cutlery. What means cutlery means it is a thing that we are using to cut the substances, like scissors, knives, nail cutters, like these things. The cutlery substances, they are also made up of stainless steel that we are using in our day-to-day life. So I hope that you all know that very well. Okay. Next one is an automobile part. In our automobiles, like we are using bikes and cars and the mudguard and these things. So many part of the automobile parts are made up of stainless steel only in car and a bike. Car and bike, not only car and bike, bus, lorry, so many vehicles. So these are all the main uses of a stainless steel alloy. Next one is a nickel steel. Here the major part is a iron along with the nickel metal along with the non-metal carbon. These 3 things are present in it. Nickel, iron and carbon. Where this nickel steel is used? The first one is the cables. Steel cables. The nickel steel is used for cables, for wires, as a wires. And aircraft parts, here the iron alloy that is only used for only iron alloy used for making an aircraft is a nickel steel. So aircraft parts this alloy is using. And propellers means engines. The cars, bike and the vehicles engines are made up of these nickel alloys. Engine, we all know that this engine is made up of this nickel steel. Okay, so in this chapter we had seen the alloys, amalgams and reason for alloying, method of making alloying and types of alloys. Hope you understand very well, so please follow.